Welcome back. Let's get you up to speed with India's latest COVID numbers. After battling the brutal second wave of COVID-19, fresh COVID cases have come down below the 2 lakh mark. India has recorded 1,86,364 coronavirus cases in the last 24 hours. This is the lowest COVID count since the 14th of April. The daily death toll, however, has remained over 3,000 with 3,660 COVID deaths being reported in the last 24 hours. However, the daily deaths have fallen below the 4,000 mark for the first time in 11 days. All right, to make sense of where we are with the pandemic at the moment, we have Dr. Vikas Maurya, Director and Head of Pulmonology, Fortis Hospital, Shalimar Bagh, joining us. Thanks so much, Dr. Maurya, for sparing your time and being with us on NDTV. The big question at the moment is that cases have fallen. Deaths also in the last 2 days have been below the 4,000 mark. Now, many experts and many doctors say that this is primarily because the lockdown in different parts of the country seems to be working. But as the cases fall and the positivity rate in India dips below 10%, we are looking to unlock. Have we vaccinated enough number of people to be able to unlock is the big question.
So I think it's very important to understand that when we do a lockdown, I think lockdown is also a measure of bringing down the cases of, the pandemic. It is being tried, for last, 100 years, whenever we have a pandemic, whether it was Spanish flu 100 years back. At that time also the lockdown was one of the measures to decrease down the number of cases. Yes, but this time obviously we have to go for, when we are doing the lockdown, simultaneously we have to go for vaccination of people, as many as possible. And obviously we have to continue the effort even after when the lockdown restrictions are, decreased, and, we are opening up, bit by bit. So this is very, very important that the vaccination should also improve, the drive should also improve, and we should vaccinate as many as people as early as possible. Obviously, we have a huge population in India. I think it's not possible in a matter of time that we can do it. But yes, everything is being done at the moment, and I'm hopeful that, and if we can increase the pace and everything is done, then by this year or, we may be able to vaccinate majority of the people.
But Dr. Maurya, the big question is that given the fact that only about 4% of our population has been completely vaccinated, 4% of our population has been given both doses of the COVID-19 vaccine, are we really in a position to lift curbs?
See, I think it's not. I mean, what can be done is that the areas, you cannot completely open up the whole of India. I think it can be taken by the state by state, and the decision can be taken at that level by area. So you can open up by local level, those areas where you have very low positivity rate and they are improving. So you can, I think it can be done by, the states can take their own decision, and even the states, the districts and everything, they can open up by, slowly, and in that way, I think we can be able to gradually.
Is the situation in Delhi significantly better as far as number of hospital admissions, bed capacities at ICU is concerned?
Oh yes, I think if we compare it to, a few days back when we were already packed up, and even the waiting list was too high, I think the situation has improved a lot.
Right.
And even the positivity rate has come down below 5%, and it's very, very low right now. So I think the situation has become better right now.
All right, the situation has become better, but that's also because there have been almost 6 to 7 weeks of a total lockdown in the national capital. Can we really lift curbs given the fact that our vaccination continues to remain low? That's a big question. Dr. Sameer Arbat, HOD Pulmonology, joins us from Nagpur as well. Thanks so much, Dr. Sameer, for being with us. I'll ask you the same question. Cases and deaths both down in Maharashtra. The positivity rate also, has been under control. There has been a declining trend. Now, as of course the positivity rate dips, the daily cases and deaths dip, there is talk of unlock and of once again lifting up curbs. But, I'll ask you the same question. Vaccination and shortage of vaccines has been a big cause of concern in Maharashtra as well. Can we really afford to lift curbs?
We'll be facing a dilemma until and unless we get the vaccination started at a mass scale. A lot of centers which were basically designated for vaccination are yet to get the stock. And the delay in vaccination might bring in a second wave after the unlock happens, or if the borders are open for patients from other states to come inside Nagpur or Maharashtra.
Right. So you're saying that this is at the moment a debatable decision. But I'll ask you the same question, Dr. Sameer, that I asked Dr. Maurya as well. Has the situation significantly improved on the ground as far as the number of people, coming to hospitals is concerned, the severity of the disease, bed capacity, has it significantly improved?
So there has been a major decline in the number of fresh cases and the number of deaths around. But the ICUs are still occupied by patients whom we call as long COVID or post-COVID.
Right.
So these are the people who were positive in April or the first week of May, but they are still yet to get discharged, and most of them require very high oxygen support.
All right. Dr. Venkata Siva Krishna also joins us from the Amara Hospital in Tirupati. Thanks so much, Dr. Krishna, for being with us. I'll ask you the same question. What's the situation down south? We are seeing a declining trend as far as the pan-India cases is concerned. But again, the question is, can we really afford to lift curbs given the fact that we've seen a delayed spike in cases in states like Tamil Nadu, in states like Karnataka?
Yeah, actually down south, the situation is the same, right? Even in our previous beginning of the
all right, Dr. Krishna, we're going to try and reconnect with you. We have some audio trouble with you there. But Dr. Maurya, if I can come back to you at this moment, what according to you can be done to avoid the kind of scenes that we saw, in the peak of the second wave in the national capital? The shortage of ICU beds, the shortage of medical oxygen, because the B1617 strain that is widely believed to be behind the surge in cases in the national capital hasn't gone anywhere. That strain is still prevalent. It's spread to, over 50 countries in the world. So what more do you think can be done for Delhi to be better prepared if we are to open up?
See, I think, first of all, I think we should open up gradually. That is the number one point. And secondly, I think we should, have more oxygenated beds, available, and thinking of, do a preparation for the third wave, maybe a possible, third wave. And then, having, I think we can have oxygen plants in the major hospitals so that we don't have a situation like this.
Right.
And the most
but
important
is that
thing
happening,
is to vaccinate.
Dr. Maurya? Are you
vaccinate.
seeing that happening? Are you hearing of it happening?
Oh yes. I think we are hearing, the oxygen plants are being prepared and they're being deployed in the hospitals. And also the most important thing which I said is the last, which is important, is to vaccinate. To vaccinate as much as people as possible.
Absolutely.
And so that, we can have less number of people involved in maybe the possible third wave.
Right. Dr. Sameer, the situation as far as Maharashtra is concerned, was also very bad. In fact, Maharashtra was the state that was hit the hardest in terms of the total number of cases, and also saw the cases rise exponentially towards the beginning of the second wave in India. Cases have been, declining, but are you seeing enough preparation on the ground for the eventuality of us opening up and then perhaps cases spiking again as a result of?
I think all the mayhem that was caused during the second wave did send us an alarm bell as far as our preparations are concerned. I hope that we have better public-private partnerships in the coming few days when it comes to number of hospital beds, oxygen supply. There was another major issue that a lot of people were calling up hospitals and asking for ICU beds, maybe even if they did not require an ICU bed. So there was a lot of chaos, a lot of fear caused due to people not being segregated into mild, moderate and severe. So even that is something that needs to be taken into account in future cases of any spike or wave in COVID cases. Obviously, we need to ramp up our number of ICU beds. What we were short on number of ICU beds, ICU trained staff, specialists who are there to treat critical cases of COVID-19. And again, there are issues like supply of essential medicine, supply of biologicals, and the oxygen supply.
Right. The supply of medical oxygen, you're both pulmonologists, and I'll get quick responses from you on this. Why do you think there was such a surge in the demand for medical oxygen? Could it be linked to issues like prolonged exposure to air pollution? What's your assessment, Dr. Maurya?
See, I think this time what we have a huge wave. So basically, it's the volume, it's the number of patients. I think we have a huge population. So it's the number of patients, who were having a moderate to severe form of the disease, and they were requiring oxygenation. And that's why there was an increased oxygen demand, and also increase in the number of demand of the ICU beds as well.
Right.
Which I believe, it's a volume because that basically causes. Because the Indian population is so huge. Even if we think of 15% of the patient, for example, if I have 10 patients, I have seen that 15% will have moderate to severe disease, and 5% will have the severe disease.
Dr. Samir, would you agree? Would you agree that it is because the denominator was very high, the sheer number of cases was a lot?
Yeah, so basically, whenever the hospitals are set up, there are a number of beds which are allotted as oxygen beds. So if you consider any hospital having a respiratory facility, there might be 9 out of 10 beds having oxygen supply.
Right.
But every other hospital might not have those number of oxygen beds. And if you consider that our city or state or the country is used to having X number of cases over a period of 3 months, and that's how the oxygen supply and demand is taken care of. Now, we saw X into 3 times the cases in a period of 1 week.
Right.
So it's kind of impossible to make up to this demand.
So it was the sheer number or the demands. The demand rose for medical oxygen because there were so many more people who were actually falling sick. Well, thank you both doctors very much for joining us this morning on NDTV. Of course, the unlock process is going to begin. Are we really prepared on the ground? It's a story we'll continue to track very closely.